Welcome back to the Citizen Channel. If you're a regular on here, it's great to see you. If you're not, and it's great to welcome you back if you are a regular. Please, we're going to have a look at the odds show today. It's the odds show. We're going to have a look forward to our Champions League round of 16 game, of course, with Sporting on Wednesday the 9th of March, an 8 p.m. kickoff, of course, at the Etihad. And yesterday, we got back on track. We had two bets for charity, and one of them came in, which wasn't too bad. Obviously, with the old Derby game, I had both teams to score, so I was quite happy with that. Unfortunately, the other bet didn't come in, but at least we're back in winning ways, and hopefully we will continue this week. And another match that is quite difficult to call from a betting point of view, as I found the Derby very, very hard to judge. I wish I'd been more confident, but you know what it's like with City United. As a City fan, you always hope for the best but expect the worst. So we got the best, didn't we? So yeah, we're back on track with the charity bets anyway, so that's great to see. Of course, there will always be a City leading in this, and all right, we've played Sporting before, but I'm not too sure of circumstances today. We'll have a chat about in a while of what sort of team they're going to play and what sort of team City are going to play. In all fairness, we do have a few little problems of our own caused just by an injury or two, which is all it takes with our squad. Despite everyone saying we've got a massive squad, it's just not like that, is it, guys? And please, I don't condone gambling in any way. And when the funds stop, and please be gamble aware. I literally just have a couple of bets for charity now. That's all I do. After all the odd one, I do have an interest in a couple of horses as well. But please, I don't condone gambling. And of course, this week with this game, just keep your bets. If you are having a little flutter, of course, I know you will, but keep your bets to the minimum as well, because it's hard to tell. Please, if you are new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. I hope you enjoy what I try and do to inform your City friends about the channel. Let's grow it as much as we can. I always appreciate it's great to get comments, but it's great to get thumbs up as well. You can give us a thumbs up if you like what I try and do. I put loads of stuff out there, of course, and hopefully all of it will appeal to you, even if it's only bits and pieces appeal to you. That's all I aim to do. I try and inform and entertain, and hopefully share my views as a I think I'm a big City fan. I think that's in more ways than one. I hope you enjoy what I do. Right, so let's get on. Let's see what value we can get from this City Sporting game. It's a little bit difficult, as I said. Just interesting prices. To win the Champions League, of course, City is still the favourites at 9-4 generally. Liverpool are 7-2, which I think isn't bad with Liverpool. I think they're playing very, very well, and they're a big challenge to us, of course. Bayern Munich are 9-2. You can get Chelsea at 8-1. And if you still think United after that shambolic display against us, but hey, we know the best team doesn't always win the Champions League. It's happened many, many times. It happened last year, didn't it? Unfortunately, but yeah, United are 25-1. So you think you want to risk 50p on that? Hey, why not? You never know. Miracles do happen, but hopefully not in this case. The match odds, yeah, City versus Sporting match odds. City generally you can get a little bit less than this, but generally 1-7 on, which is that ridiculous, isn't it? Let's be honest about it, guys. Draw is 9-1, even that's pushing it, and the Sporting win is 22-1. No disrespect to Sporting, but after a 5-0 thrashing over there, you have to cast serious doubts on the validity of Sporting getting one over us in this game. And if you watch my little preview, I would do which is out there now. Please check that out as well if you can, guys. If you watch my preview, I'll give you the reasoning behind my 11, which is unusual for this sort of game. It's fairly strong, but I don't think we have a lot of options. But just if you watch the preview show on the Sporting game, it's sort of explained on there. So this is the 11 I've gone with, which I based today's look at the odds show on. Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Laporte, Zinchenko, Werner, Gundogan, McAtee, Sterling, Jesus and Grealish. And my thoughts generally on the game, as I said, be very, very careful. It's not a great game to judge. I think Pep will try to rest certain players, but obviously we've got this problem now with injuries, and he won't risk too many youngsters. There's not many youngsters actually on the verge of getting in this team that are available to play. Probably McAtee. I mean, Delap was on the bench against United. I can't see him getting this game. And then Mbati, my apologies, he's also a centre half, isn't he? But would you see him lining up with one of our regular centre halves for this game? I think it might be far too early for that. And Pep, even though we're 5-0 up, I don't think Pep will do that. So I think, as I said, that team there will be experienced and strong. Sporting for them. I mean, obviously they've still got an outside chance of winning the league title, but Porto are pushing them all the way, and obviously Porto are ahead of them by 6 points. They both played the same games, have a better goal difference as well. So they are struggling, certainly in the standard of the Portuguese league, for Porto to drop 6 points. They do have a second leg of a semi-final against Porto. They are losing that, unfortunately, 2-1 at half-time. Well, unfortunately for them, I'm not really that bothered, in all fairness. Unfortunately for them, they are losing that at half-time 2-1 after the first leg. So will they go strong? I think they'll have a fairly strong team, but I think they'll put some younger players in as well. And they're a little bit physical as well, where I don't think we've got nothing on the cards today. But if you get any bets with cards on, because this referee can give the cards out. So if you can get any bets, as I say, I haven't featured any today because I didn't see anything of any real interest. But if you do fancy cards, have a look at that as well, because this referee does like to give a card or two out. But as I said, please bet carefully, because there's lots of ifs and buts on this one. Well, I do expect there to be goals. Yeah, I don't think it'll be bland. I think there'll be a fair sprinkling of goals. So that takes us to the actual odds themselves. First goal scorer, I've based it on the guys I've put in the starting 11 here. So that's why certain players perhaps won't feature, or ones that might feature. I've included anything that might just happen. I mean, Sterling, Jesus are the sort of first goal scorers, 9-2, a bit mean in all fairness. That's on Bet365. You can get 13-2 on Gundogan, 7-1 on Grealish with Boyles. Why not? I think Grealish might get the game, and why not? I think he's psychologically on fire now. Zinchenko's 20-1. Who knows? Why not? Why not? Zinchenko. Cancelo, Laporte, and Fernie can all get 22-1 for first goal scorer. And Stones is one of the outsiders. He can always pop up for a set piece. 28-1 for Stones. But if you look at the anytime goal scorer, which is always of more interest to me. So again, nothing with the obvious ones, nothing with the obvious ones. But if you look at the outsiders, if you like, Zinchenko, you get 13-2 at Hills. Cancelo, you get 7-1 at Hills. Laporte, generally 15-2. Stones is 8-1 with 365. And Fernandinho, he's not waiting for a goal for a while, has he? He's 8-1. He's an interesting one as well. So interesting ones there. You could perhaps Dutch a couple as well and have a little bit on each and still make a nice little profit. Or you could Dutch all five and make a profit. If you think any of those five are going to score, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, if it's a bit of fun and you're not going to risk too much, why not? Both teams to score, yeah, I mean, they only had 3 shots Sporting at their own ground, and none on target. So you'd be pushed to say it. But as I said, because we don't really know the sort of mix of the City team and how we're going to play this being 5-0 up, why not? Why not both teams score? Why not? They can nick one. I won't say they're going to win the game, but they can certainly nick a goal or two, I would have thought, if we're not quite at it. But you can get no. Obviously, the bookies think no. The best you can get on that is 8-13 on with Sky. But if you fancy both teams to score, you can get 5-4. So I've done it. My first of my 2 charity bets, I've only got 1.42. I do bet the exchanges. There's a couple of bookmakers I do use, but obviously I can't get anything on those at the moment. So I've just done my first charity bet is both teams to score yes at 1.42. So I'll take that. That's not too bad, is it? That's a good price. So if they do manage to get a goal, there we go. We've got more money for the charities. That's the first of my charity bets. Going on to the correct scores, I mean, I can't see Sporting beating us. But I've had a look at the City wins. A 1-0 win is 8-1. We've got to be better than that. I mean, all right, 2-0. If we score a goal or two and control the game at 11-2 is reasonable. 3-0 is 6-1. We bet Victor. 3-1, so both teams to score a 3-1 is 10-1. 4-0 for City, 17-2. Generally, a 4-1 to City again. Both teams to score there is 16-1 with Hills. And if you fancy a repeat of the 5-0 at Sporting, that's 15-1 with Bet Victor. If you do think it'll be a dull draw, well, I'm not even looked at 0-0. I can't imagine it being a goalless draw in all fairness. So 1-1 is 18-1 with 365 and 2-2 is 40-1. Generally available. A Sporting win, yeah, well, if you went 1-0, you could get 55-1 with Bet Victor, which is probably throwing money away, isn't it? And a 2-1 Sporting win, I can't see anything more than that, is 55-1 with Hills. Half time, full time, yeah, it's got to value. I mean, it's got to be City, surely, but it's 8 to 15. It's not beyond the realms of me having to go on an 8 to 15. I have not done it this week, but that's not too bad. That's not too for a City. I mean, it's got to be. There's got to be that, hasn't it? Even a draw in City. So if they held out the first half, will be 10-3 with Sky. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put you off if you don't mind betting odds on 8 to 15. Doesn't sound too unreasonable. Goals over under, yeah, and there's certainly I don't think there's any. I don't think it'll be a dull game. I think there'll be players on both sides wanting to prove themselves. Obviously, you're going to have City players who are sort of borderline with the first team, hoping to impress Pep, and the same with Sporting. I assume if he plays some of the sort of his so-called squad players, they'll be trying to impress their manager as well. So I think there should be goals. No reason why not. I mean, over 2.5, yeah, it's a little bit restricted, but I mean that is a safer bet. But that's 4-9 on, so that is a little bit restricted. But you jump to over 3.5 and Betfair Sports 23-20 odds against 4 goals in the game. Very, very possible. All right, if you want to be brave and go over 4.5, you get 5-2 on that one. But yeah, over 3.5. So this is my second bet. Yeah, I've gone for charity, my second bet. At over 3.5. I said I bet the exchanges, and I got at 1.16. A little tiny bit of commission to come off that. But I'm going with that. I'm going over 3.5 at 1.16. So that's my fingers crossed, guys. That's the second of my charity bets today. Winning margins interesting as well. We mentioned Dutching before, didn't we, on the goal scorers? This is an interesting one as well because obviously City to win by 1 goal is 10-3. City to win by 2 goals is 3-1. City to win by 3 is 7-2, and City to win by 4 or more is 3. There's a possibility to win by 4 or more, but I just fancy the 2 or 3. I think 1 would be mean, wouldn't it? So if you Dutch the 2 and the 3, you can make a little bit of money there. So if you like your winning margin, or just plump for a couple of them, and you'll be absolutely spot on with that. And you can actually bet on 1, 2, and 3 winning goal margin, still make money if that's, obviously it's not much risk there, is it? But there is a risk, but obviously you're keeping it to the minimum. But yeah, so the winning margin is interesting. You can even Dutch a couple, 2 or 3 of those, and you'd still be in profit if they come in. So that's not a bad little value there on that one. And finally, before we go, as I said, I couldn't find anything on the card, so please seek that out because I think there could be a card or 2 in this. And I'm hoping they don't lead the footing, but if over in Sporting, they did have a tendency to do a couple of niggly fouls, Sporting. So I will certainly look at that card market if you get a chance to have a look before the match. And we'll finish with corners. Yeah, there's only 6 in the first game. It's very hard with corners to gauge, but they've restricted it this time to under 9.5 and over 9.5. Obviously, I think you get 5-6 on either. I have 5-6 on generally on either of those. So if there's only 6 in the first game, possibly I would stick with under 9.5 if you wanted to go for the corners market. I did last week against United. That was my other bet, and unfortunately I did miscalculate. There's far more corners than I thought there would be against United. I think I'd had under 10.5. I think there was actually 12 or 13 corners, so I missed out on that. So I was stung on that one, so I've stayed clear of the corners, but I would go for under 9.5 if you fancy that. Certainly at 5-6, I wouldn't put you off that. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you're having a little flutter on. Hoping you do very, very well. Let me know. Even if you come back on afterwards and tell me you won such and such, or you did such and such. Just let me know what you're having a little flutter on and say, please keep it to the minimum as always, and be totally gamble aware. So my 2 charity bets before we go, both teams to score. So keep your fingers crossed for me. At 1.42, and the other one we've got charity bet number 2 is goals over and under, so over 3.5 goals at 1.16. So let's hope a little bit more charity this week. Thanks for watching, guys. As I said, please let me know in your comments what you're having to go on. Until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.